He's nervous. Let's go! Oh my goodness!
I'm holding an RC plane that is brushless, super powerful, 4 channels, and comes in under $150. Plug and fly, they call it. Not plug and play, plug and fly. P&F. It's fast down the runway. Whew, yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I love roll rate like that on a fast plane. Yeah. That's because all the electronics, the servos, everything's already installed. You just have a very quick little assembly, less than 10 minutes, to snap this thing together. And there is a couple spots that requires some glue, or at least they recommend that you glue it. This plane is a Durafly plane, which means it's a HobbyKing plane, but there's a catch to this. This is a Temu airplane, believe it or not. You guys have requested that we get HobbyKing stuff back on the channel for years. You've also requested that we throw some Temu stuff on the channel for years. And I'll be honest, I've always been on the fence a little about both. But when I realized that Temu had Durafly stuff, I got super pumped because this is under $150. Oh, such a cool plane. It's got the power. Now this will fly on a 3S or a 4S battery. And in today's video, we're gonna fly on a 3S battery only because, and I think this is the one complaint that I have with this airplane, it has an XT60 plug, okay? And when you are asking us to fly on an 850 milliamp battery, that's small if you don't know the lingo. I have 850s, but they got XT30 plugs. The only plug, the smallest battery I have. And guys, I've been flying for like 13 years straight. I got batteries. I got every battery under the sun. That's a very rare unicorn battery. So fingers crossed that this one will do the job. CG feels pretty good. My word of advice to Durafly is if you're gonna make a very cool, sweet little plane like this that's very affordable for everyone, please try to match up decently common batteries that we already have. Having said that, let's fly.
No sunshade?
Ah, I forgot. I just forgot. No, it's not sunny. No sun. There's no sun today. There's no room for nothing. See that? I mean, nothing is moving. Nothing is, there's no room for anything. So, there, she fits.
Launch with confidence, launchfidence. He's nervous. Let's go! Oh my goodness! Get it under control! He went like 3 mistakes high so fast. I saw it.
This is on 3S, Abby. I'm having to bring it back to like 25% throttle.
What happened?
I don't know. It was just real powerful and squirrely. I think I launched it with too much juice. Too much juice.
Come closer.
I'm just trying to get her trimmed up and then I'll get it in better. You know, it's definitely got some climb, but I'd rather have a little climb than the other way. I think I probably say that every time I have a...
People would like to hear you.
Yeah, okay. I'm just focused on trimming it up. Okay. It's in the air. That was what I was mostly worried about, because the reason we have a saying, launchfidence, is just because I don't like hand launching things and I don't have safe on this. So, you know, what are you doing, Abby?
Get closer.
I'm right on top of you. I'm in my spot.
You seem so far away.
Okay, let's talk about Temu real fast, because this is the first time we've had anything on our channel from Temu. I mean, they generally, tons of people, everyone I know, every human being I know orders stuff on Temu. This is honestly the first thing that we've ever gotten from Temu, ever. So when I was browsing, I was like, Abby, we got to get something. You know, everyone asks for it all the time. Let's pick something out. We shopped around and I was like, no way, they have HobbyKing stuff. So here we go, right? Now, HobbyKing, let's talk about them very briefly. Not necessarily Durafly, but HobbyKing in general has gone through some major ups and downs. And I will say that they are now under new ownership, which is new information to me. I didn't realize that.
Or new leadership. I don't know about
at least. And they, listen, they needed it. They have had some horrible, horrible people in charge for it's just off and on. They've had some amazing people. HobbyKing was awesome for a while. And then they've also had just some rough people too. Okay, so enough about that, but I think it's important for you guys to know, like, shipping was not slow. I don't know, a week or something for me to get these, and it came in good shape, like just high quality. I was really surprised. So I'm really happy with, and believe it or not, this will fly on a 4S battery too. Now let's do a crank down the runway. Kind of scatterbrained right now, but let's crank it. Full throttle on a 3S battery. That's fast. That's why this is it's a racing plane. I can't even hardly imagine this on 4S. Fast down the runway. Whew, yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I love roll rate like that on a fast plane. Yeah. Am I flying on Expo? Yes, I am. When you're hand launching a plane, man, Expo helps a lot. 30% on the aileron, 25 on elevator, and 20 on rudder. That's my standard go-to. If I'm on an Expo, an airplane, that's it. Let's climb it.
Well,
oh yeah, good.
It snap.
Let's do it. Here goes. Oh yeah, that's pretty nice, but it's a racer, so we don't have like a ton of elevator authority on this, right? I think that's why our limiting factor there. Also, they want an 850 milliamp, but I'm flying on a 1300, and I think that's really important for everyone to know. It doesn't feel bad. That might have been why I had a squirrely launch, because maybe a little extra nose weight. I don't know. That was just a really squirrely launch. Let's go for a loop back here, Abby. Oh, such a cool plane. It's got the power. So the way this feels in the air is weighted, if that makes any sense. This has a metal spinner on the front. A lot of airplanes, basically all of them, have plastic spinners on the front. I think they went with metal for durability because you probably noticed there's no landing gear. So we're gonna have to do belly landings. I imagine this plane could fly through props, but it is a short prop, which means it's gonna be less likely to snap. But it still could. I'm not going to say.
I was going to say, I feel like you're predicting your future here.
You could definitely snap. Yeah, I was trying to do a show pass, but that rudder's just not there. So it didn't feel right. I'm sure I could, but that's why it kind of swung out like that. Let's go for, I like these cranked rolls. So cool. And then unlimited climb. Again, reminder, 3S battery. 3S. This could be flying on a 4S. Only reason I'm not is because room in there. Now, I didn't even put Velcro on the battery or the receiver because it's so tight in there. There was no room for movement at all. Everything is just packed in tight. So normally would I do that? No. But when it is so tight and you don't have room to get your fingers in there to get the battery out, you don't want it to be Velcroed in, because then you kind of pin yourself in a corner and you struggle to get that battery out. So I normally would never recommend you fly with a loose battery, but this isn't actually loose. It is so tight in there, nothing is moving. We're getting close to 5 minutes, but I'm not too concerned because we're flying on a 1300 milliamp battery. By the way, I know it's not the battery that I have in here, but I will also link our current favorite non-smart batteries. That will be linked in the description box below too. It's flying on rails, Abby. I don't know if you can tell, like I was very nervous launch. I got it sorted out within, you know, maybe 10 seconds or so, and now I can just bring it in nice and low. Let's do kind of a slow pass. People do like to see slower tendencies. Let's I don't want it to be too low over the runway because I don't really know its true stall tendency, but there's 0 throttle. And throttle on, and throttle up, and then punch it up. And let's do some more of those fast rolls. Just crank it. This is a great, fun racer plane. It is small, but you gotta think, I say under 150 bucks, but I mean, I think this is cruising right around 135 or so. You just need your own receiver, you need your own battery, but the price point on those are pretty low too. That's a good 4-channel airplane, nice and bright colors. I think it comes in other colors too, maybe yellow and red, I think. Either way, I love this bright green. For a small plane, it rips. And it's super fun. I mean, I really like it. Wow.
Oops.
Oh,
you went up.
So cool. So cool.
It's very fast.
Yeah, it is. And you're doing a good job chasing this thing because, I mean, this is a challenge. Okay, I think we're what, 7 minutes or so on flight. So the landing on this is going to be interesting. I don't like my wind direction, but I think I'm going to bring it in. It'd be nice if I could land it this way. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Hard for me to see orientation. It's right here, Abby. Right there. I'm just going to 0 throttle and let it plop as far as... That was pretty good landing. I'm real happy with that. That's perfect.
How'd it go?
Yeah, it's great. Prop's in good shape. No damage anywhere. Oh, and something I didn't mention about this, the wingtips, you may notice that they are separate pieces. Those are glued on. It comes with 2 different options. So if you don't like that kind of gull little, you know, tapered wing tip up, you can put on the very flat, it's like a clipped wing look. Looks kind of like a P-51 Mustang when you put the other option on. I think it's kind of cool that it came with that as a choice. I just went with this because it's a little bit bigger, I don't know. I also thought it might give me a little bit more stability in the air, which theoretically it should. And without stabilization is safe of any kind on here. I'm glad that I did that, especially with my hand launch. It's a good looking airplane, isn't it? Okay, so let's give Durafly HobbyKing some feedback. First of all, the place I got this is on Temu. They're the ones selling it, okay? Let's give HobbyKing and Durafly some feedback. First of all, let's really talk about the battery size again, because you can see the issue, right? I just don't own a battery that's that size. Therefore, I'm so cramped in here, I can't even hardly get my receiver and battery, and you know, just use more common size battery. I hate when companies make this, I mean, everyone does it. Horizon Hobby, they did it with their Low Supermoto MX. Very unique battery plug, not unique battery size, but unique battery plug. So if I were these guys, I'd have put an XT30 on here, but that might be for voltage, right? Because this is a racer, you get more current through there. So I'm sure they did it for a reason, but that is a pain. And also the instructions, although this was very easy to assemble and I wouldn't have needed instructions at all. Most people like to have instructions. They give you online instructions in color and everything, and they're great. But I might be getting old, I don't know, and I have a big phone. I don't really like having to open my phone every time I want to look at step 2A. Okay, did that. Step 2B. Step 3. I want paper instructions.
We're old.
But I am old, yes. Also, one final thought of the instructions. There was one point in the descriptive part of like summary on their website of what size battery this flies on, and then the instructions were actually a different size recommended battery, so consistency would be nice. Otherwise, this is a great airplane. I absolutely love that it's 4 channels, because most companies these days that are making planes in this size don't tend to give you rudder. And I'm not saying every one of their planes has rudder, but it's a nice added bonus for this price point. I was even flying with a string of hot glue on there. It's still there. But, you know, very high controllability. I felt like it was flying on rails. Yes, it's small and pretty quick. So if you're looking for something that is fast and super fun and very affordable, this is a home stinking run. Now you guys saw that hand launch, right? We all saw it. I saw it. It was not beautiful. And I am so glad that every time I maiden something that has unpredictability factors going in, that I'm flying with AMA. That's the Academy of Model Aeronautics. Insurance for, believe it or not, foam planes. Now, in the grand scheme of things, do I really care about foam toys? Being dangerous? No. But the FAA says they are. And so there are instances where, because that has a metal spinner on the front, and you know, we've got a metal bolt on the front of that, if I flew that directly into a car,
you could have broken a light bulb.
I could have. And those bulbs are expensive because of the FAA. So the AMA would step in and help cover that light bulb or a windshield or whatever, if that were to happen, God forbid. But it just makes me feel safer and more comfortable when I'm flying with insurance. So we'll have them linked in the description box below. In summary, I can't believe, it's just one of these little mind-blown moments. This is a Temu plane. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And so good for them for carrying an actual name brand thing. Very cool. And again, linked in the description box below. I want to say a massive thanks to God for blessing us with this time, this day, because all week long is supposedly like flash flood warnings and stuff. So today's our day to get out and do a video. And for today, I thank God. I want to say a massive thanks to our Patreon supporters because we couldn't do what we do as often as we do it without your insanely awesome support. If you guys like budget-friendly RC planes, we'll have a hand-picked video popping up right about now just for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye.